Hey everybody, what's going on? Corey Enman here with eXp Realty in Gilbert, Arizona. I am also known as the Charitable Realtor. And the reason I'm known as that is because for every transaction that I do with anybody, a portion of that goes back to charity. In fact, my long-term goal in my real estate business is to eventually donate $1 million to charity. So if you ever do business, I hope you do business with me in the future. But if you ever do, just know that you're also giving back to charity indirectly through working with me. So today, my video is the 5 things that surprised me the most when we moved to Gilbert, Arizona. Now, I'm really happy that I chose Gilbert, and it's been great for our family. But if I had known these 5 things before, it probably would have locked down and made all of my choices a heck of a lot easier. Hey, and as always, remember, before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and set your notifications because we're going to be doing at least 2 videos a week moving forward on Gilbert, the Arizona market, the real estate market. So if you have your notifications set up, then that will make sure that you get notified of a new video. And we want to make sure that you're on top of that. So subscribe, hit notifications, and let's get started on this video. All right, so let's get into this. All right, the first major surprise, and I didn't think this was going to be it, that we got when we came here was the weather. Now, I'm originally from New England, so I know snow and rain and all that stuff. And then I moved and lived in Los Angeles for 20 years. So I only knew of like 75 and sunny for the last 20 years. Now moving to Arizona, especially the Phoenix area, all you hear is one thing: scorching hot. And yes, 4 months of the year, basically June, July, August, and September, it's pretty scorching hot. But you do the same thing that you do anywhere else in the middle of the summer, is either you go near water, you go in a pool, you go to the beach, or you just stay inside in air-conditioned places. And that's exactly what we did last summer when we moved here. But I was absolutely surprised about all the other weather that they get here in Arizona, especially the rain. Now, in Arizona, especially in the Phoenix area, the valley, they have monsoon season. Literally monsoon season, which is basically the whole summer. So the whole summer, it's super, super hot, but there's also monsoons. And I'm talking monsoons and thunderstorms, heavy rain, flash flooding, hail, extreme heat, the coolest lightning storms. So I might be able to put a video here of some of the lightning storms. They were unbelievable because not everything is real high. You can see for a long distance, and I caught some of the coolest lightning storms ever. Also with the flooding, it was insane. We have a green belt, and within, 10, 15 minutes during these monsoons, the whole green belt fills up with water. So it's actually pretty crazy how much rain comes down in such a short amount of time. But it come down 10, 20 minutes, it just pours. Super high winds, drops a ton of rain, and then it's cloudy. And it's still hot, but it cools it down a little bit. And that happened all the time in the summer. It rained all the time. And I haven't had that much rain in probably 20 years in Los Angeles, and that was just in the first summer. Now, natives said it was a pretty rainy monsoon season, so I'm guessing that's not normal, but I was definitely surprised by how much rain we got. Also, there are dust storms here called haboobs. Yes, haboobs. All right, so don't go there. But haboobs, and they literally are these massive dust storms. And basically they're hundreds of miles and thousands of feet high. And I was walking with the dog, and because we actually have a cornfield that's like right across the street from us. And I was walking the dog, and we could see for a really big distance. And I was just walking, and all of a sudden I saw this big brown cloud that was basically from the ground all the way up. I couldn't see anything, but it was like blue skies, brown. And I just saw it moving. I was like, ooh, maybe I should get inside. And we went inside, and 10 minutes later, everything was brown and dust was all over the place. And I'm pretty sure we have a video, but it was pretty crazy, the haboobs that are in Arizona. Those happen mostly in the summer, in the summer months where it's hot. You get a lot of wind and a lot of dust, and they provide those haboobs, those dust storms. What I also didn't expect was the cold weather. Now, I know in the summer it's super hot, but basically once you hit about October, November, December, and right around December, it got really cold. And I'm talking, not cold, Canada cold or the Midwest, North Midwest cold, but it was cold for here. It dropped into the 30s, low 30s, sometimes even below 30. And it stayed there for a long time throughout the entire winter. So I was really surprised at how cold it was. I didn't think it was going to be that cold. Drops really cold. It is still the desert, so it did get pretty cold. But yeah, and then the distance where we are, there's so many different mountains that during the winter, there's a ton of snow in the area. When I lived in Los Angeles, cool thing about LA is you had the sun, and then 2 hours later, especially in like the winter year, like January, February, December, January, February, you could go up to Big Bear and you could get some skiing in, and then 2 hours later, you're back in LA and it's sunny. Same thing as here, actually, is you got Flagstaff up north, which is 2 hours and 20 minutes away, and then you have the White Mountains to the east, and then you also have Santa Catalina Islands, which are in Tucson, which is a little bit south. And those are all within about 2 hours. So if you want snow, you can drive 2.5 hours to it, Flagstaff, and then come back. And also in the summer, when it's really, really hot, when you go to Flagstaff, it's a lot cooler. So 2 hours, you can go to Flagstaff, relax, enjoy cooler weather. Northern Arizona University up there, it's a cool college town. And it's just crazy the differences between the weather. But you get extreme heat in the summer, you get beautiful weather for 8 months out of the year, you get the haboobs and the monsoons in the summer, you get cool weather at night in the winters, and then you've got snow if you need it around you. So it's a pretty cool weather demographic or weather situation that I was not expecting here in Arizona. All right, the second surprise when we moved here is the school systems here in Arizona. Now, I know Arizona as a state doesn't rank very well. In fact, they're like mid 30s, sometimes low 40s in the entire country in public schools or school systems. So not very good. However, Gilbert, Arizona is one of the best in, if not the best in Arizona. So Gilbert school systems. But the cool thing about the schools here in Arizona is you do not have to live near the school to go to it. So if there's a better school somewhere else, a little bit further away, you can enroll your kids there, no problem. You don't have to live there, which is, I think, fantastic. You shouldn't have to be limited to where you live, which also allows you to live in the neighborhood you want and maybe take your kid to a different school that might work better for your children. When we originally moved here, we went to one of the public schools, one of the charter schools, which was considered a really good school and great schools. I think it was ranked a 10 out of 10. But it just wasn't the right fit for our daughter and our son. So we were able to move them to a Christian school. Now, there are so many choices for Christian schools and public schools. There's charter, public, Christian, Catholic, all kinds of different schools. But the coolest thing is now that my kids are going to Christian school, and they have been most of their life in LA, and we're just lucky and blessed, and that's just my personal preference. We're a Christian family, and I've really seen the difference between the schools, and I want that for my kids. But the cool thing is paying for these schools. So in Arizona, they have this thing called the ESA, which is basically the Empowerment Scholarship account. Check on my notes. And what that is if your kid wants to go to a private school, doesn't need to be Christian, but private school, the state will give you up to 90% of what they normally would pay for a kid to go to public school. So we ended up getting $7,500 per kid to pay for Christian school, which I think is unbelievable. Now, if that's not good enough, if you don't want to use that, they have other options where you can actually have somebody else, instead of paying taxes to the state, they can assign it to another student, and then you get a tax credit back on your taxes. So if you have a corporate tax liability or a personal tax liability, you can literally pick a kid at a Christian school and basically assign that tax to them, and you get a tax break. It's actually pretty amazing. So a lot of kids are able to go to Christian school or private school for less or for free because of the different benefits here that Arizona employs, and we love it. We take advantage of it. You know, public school is just there's great public schools. I just personally want my kids going to Christian schools, and there's so many different benefits of going to either one. But it's just cool that they have those scholarship programs, and then they have those tax benefit programs to get your kids to wherever you really want to go. So I love the choice, I love the flexibility, and I love the ability to just go wherever you want. And you don't have, and if you want to drive, you can take them. If you don't, you go right next door. But they're also building a lot of schools within these communities, so it is really family friendly, and it's very school friendly with what you want to do. All right, here we go. The third surprise here in Arizona was the outdoor recreation. Now, just like everybody else, Arizona, you think it's 125 degrees. It's not. In the summer, it's hot. It got up to about 118 in the summer, but on those days, we're at the pool. Or we're inside, just like it would be at a 99-degree day anywhere else in the summer. I grew up back east. It was so humid in the summer. It'd be 88 degrees and miserable outside. So, I mean, summer, it's not really nice anywhere. It's hot. So, same thing here. But there's the other 8 months out of the year are absolutely amazing. And the topography around this area really helps with that. So the outdoor recreation that you're able to do here in this area, in the Gilbert area and a surrounding, is unbelievable. The first thing is lakes. There are so many lakes. I had no idea how much water was in the Phoenix area. And I'm talking within like 30 to 45 minutes away. The first lake is Saguaro Lake. It's 30 miles away, which isn't that far. And they have boating and fishing and swimming. Then you got Cannon Lake, which is only 35 miles away. And that is lots of scenic beauty, boating, fishing, and they also have hiking. We went there. They had a dolly steamboat tour. It was really cool. We went there with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law and her husband when they came and visited. And it was this cool boat that went around and you got to see the whole lake. It was actually really cool. They also have like lunch tours and they had alcohol there. It was pretty fun. So lots of things to do on Canyon Lake. And that was literally a 40-minute drive, which is nothing. Then you have Bartlett Lake, which is 40 miles, and that's an actual reservoir, but you also have boating and fishing and water skiing there. And then you got Roosevelt Lake, which is 50 miles away. So it's still not that far, but it's the largest lake in the area, and you can boat, and you can fish, and you can camp. So all the outdoor things that you want to do. And the last one is Lake Pleasant, which is 70 miles away. So that's a little bit further, but that's also a reservoir, but boating, fishing, hiking. So literally within an hour and a half of the Gilbert area, you can go to 5 different lakes and go fishing, boating, skiing, do whatever you want. 8 months of the year, 9 months, 10 months, you can do it in the summer. It's just hot. So unbelievable amount of lakes here in near Gilbert, Arizona. So another thing that most people know about here, outdoor recreation wise, that people love is the spring break Major League Baseball parks. Now, the cool thing is literally, I think there's 5 baseball stadiums that have Major League Baseball teams within 15 miles of Gilbert. And so if you want to see one of these spring break baseball games, you absolutely can. You got Sloan Park, which is only 9 miles from Gilbert, and that's where the Cubs play. You got Hohokam Stadium, which is only 10 miles away, which the Oakland A's play at. You got Salt River Field, and that's in Scottsdale. And from Gilbert, it's only about 20 minutes. And the cool thing about Salt River is all kinds of other things. There's Bear Wolf Lodge, or whatever, the Great Wolf Lodge. That's right next to it. Medieval Times is right next to it. That iFly is right next to it. There's the Talking Stick Casino across the street. There's Top Golf, all within that area at the Salt River Fields. That's where the Diamondbacks, their spring break, and then they share that with the Colorado Rockies. Spring break, spring training. Keep saying spring break, spring training. Spring break and spring training, it's the same time. And then you got Tempe Diablo Stadium, which is in Tempe. And Tempe's like 20 minutes away, and that's 13 miles away. And that is where the home of the Anaheim Angels. So all LA fans get to drive out. It's not really a tough drive, 5 hours. Or an hour flight, and you get to see the Angels. And then Scottsdale Stadium, which is 19 miles away. That's where the Giants play. And the last one, you got Camelback Ranch, which is a little bit further away. That's in Glendale, where the Super Bowl and State Farm Stadium is. That's 36 miles away. And that's where the White Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers spring training camps are. The cool thing is these fields are beautiful. And Surprise, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away, they also have, I think, the Rangers and the Royals there. So there's just, and all of these parks are beautiful in their own right, and they all have their own little economy, and they all have restaurants, and they have everything. So the months of March, where the spring training is, it's just awesome here. So many parks, so much fun, and they're all really family friendly, and they're all really, really close to Gilbert, Arizona. All right, the next outdoor recreation, and a lot of people love this, is hiking. Now, in the summer, it's not super fun to go hiking unless you go really early. Because it gets pretty hot quick, and in the midsummer, it's already about 90 degrees, 100 degrees in the morning. So it's not super fun to go hiking. You just have to have water and just don't die. But there's all the other times of the year, there's so much cool hiking areas. So I'll just go through some of the mountains. You got the Santan Mountains, which is located just south of Gilbert, and that has a variety of trails, ranging in difficulty from easy to medium to hard. And then the trail winds through the desert, and it offers some incredible views. So that's the Santan Mountains. And then we've got the Superstition Mountains. So the Superstition Mountains, you can see like when you're just driving around, they're very close here to Gilbert, Arizona, just to the east. They offer some of the most scenic and challenging hikes in the Phoenix area. And they have, easy nature walks to steep, really difficult climbs. Superstition Mountain's really cool. And that is literally, man, it's not even 45 minutes away. So it's really close for an incredible hike. Go early in the morning, and it's pretty awesome. Another place to hike is Usury Mountain Regional Park. And that's located just to the northeast of Gilbert. So all these are really pretty close to Gilbert. Offers a variety of hiking trails that wind through the Sonoran Desert. So those trails just go through the desert, and they have, it features a nature center and picnic areas all over the place. So cool parks there, a lot through the Sonoran Desert, a lot of scenic beauty there too. You also have the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. That's north of Gilbert and Scottsdale. So that's about 35 minutes away. It's a protected desert wilderness area that offers 225 miles of hiking. So tons of trails there if you like hiking. And those range from easy to difficult with options for all skill levels. So kids to advanced hikers will love McDowell Sonoran Preserve. And the last hiking place that I'm just going to highlight is the Lost Dutchman State Park, which is east of Gilbert. And that's in the Superstition Mountains. But that offers all kinds of hiking that wind through really rugged terrain and offer incredible desert-like vistas. The cool thing is they have like the the Lost Dutchman. They have a cool like old ghost town type place, good restaurant. We went up there and did some sightseeing, and it was a blast. So tons of hiking just within 30 to 40 minutes of Gilbert. And then that's not even including Camelback Mountains up in Scottsdale and the other ones here in the Phoenix, which really aren't that far away. So tons of hiking if you're into hiking in this area. All right, now my fourth surprise, and this is probably my favorite because I'm a sports fanatic, is all the sports facilities here for adults and for kids. It's ridiculous how many are in this area. And I'm really glad we're located because Gilbert is essentially located to all of them. And this is just the ones in Gilbert. I'm going to mention one in Mesa, which is right next door, but there's a bunch in Chandler, a bunch in Mesa. In this area, Scottsdale, in this area, there's so many. It's really, you just never run out of choices. So I'm going to highlight some of the ones here in Gilbert. The first one is Gilbert Regional Park. And this is a massive park, but they have playgrounds there. They have sports fields. They have dog park. They have a huge fishing lake. They have trails, and then they have an amphitheater. So there's probably pictures and stuff that we'll put on here. But the amphitheater that we were here for 4th of July, and the park was packed, and they played, they had bands there, they had fireworks and food trucks. It was a pretty cool event, but they had that at Gilbert Regional. And then the exciting thing about Gilbert Regional is coming soon, they're going to have a 25-acre water park. It's called Cactus Surf Water Park that's been approved by the city, and that's going to be like a surfing lagoon, water park, splash pad, massive water complex. And they're building another one called Cannon Beach, which is a surfing complex in a neighboring town in Mesa, that's 10 minutes from here. So lots of cool things. They're like, we're not that close to the beach, but they're just going to bring the beach here to the Gilbert area. And I'm excited. I love it. So that's expected in the next year or two. So we're going to have a massive, huge water park here. And from where we live, it's about 3 miles down the road. So pretty excited about that. Next one is Freestone Park. Freestone Park is massive. It's got a huge rec center. I'm pretty sure, I haven't been in there, but I'm pretty sure they have rock climbing there, but they have ball fields. They have batting cages. They've got a cool skate park. They got tennis courts. They have a small amusement park with kids rides. So literally like a little train that goes through an amusement park. And then they also have a lake for fishing right there. Tons of stuff, huge park. Right in the heart of Gilbert. Then we have Crossroads Parks, and we spend a lot of time at Crossroads because our kids play sports, and Crossroads is huge for all the sports teams. It is a massive park. Well, and I'm talking, there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's probably 8 or so teams, full teams practicing on these fields at all times. Though there's soccer, My daughter plays club soccer and she's there most of the time. That's their like home. There's baseball fields, there's softball fields. There's a hockey complex called Arizona Ice that's in the middle where they have a ice skating rink and they do all figure skating, things like that. And that is a massive park, which is also only about 10 minutes from where we live. So it's really nice. And then another park, which I love, it's called Cactus Yards. And if you look it up, they've been voted one of the best parks in the country for a long time. And that's because it is a replica. So they have 6 fields there that are softball, baseball fields that are replicas of Major League Baseball fields, including Yankee Stadium, Wrigley, Fenway Park, my favorite because that's where I'm from. So I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. So Fenway Park, they have it there. Ebbets Field, I think, and they have the D-back Stadium. So they have the Bob, or now it's called something different, Chase Field. But it's pretty cool. And then, so they have all these fields, these 6 fields. They have batting cages there, which I spent some time at. And also right in the middle, they have this huge indoor soccer complex, which in the summer, that's where lots of the kids have camps, and they have soccer camps and soccer games in there. And it's just a really cool place. And around the area, there's other food and eateries that you can visit. So Cactus Yards is cool. And then I'm going to cover one more sports facility that I think is pretty important in this area. It's not in Gilbert, but it is really close. It's right next door in Mesa, and that is Legacy Park. And now they just renamed it from Bell Bank to Legacy Park. And this is a massive sports complex. And I know we'll put up some pictures here, but this is a 320 acre. It's I think it's the 6th biggest in the entire country. Sports and entertainment park. Let me just run through because there's so many. So I'll look at my notes just because there's so many things, but I want you to get an idea how big this is and what this thing offers. So they have a 3,000 seat outdoor stadium. So like a real stadium for football or soccer games. I've seen football and we've got to see soccer games there. They have 24 soccer fields that also could be used for lacrosse and football. So 24, 57 indoor volleyball courts. They have 8 baseball and softball fields. They have, 16 fast pitch and little league baseball fields, 19 basketball courts, 41 pickleball courts, 2,000 seat stadium. Not sure if that's for pickleball, but I know pickleball is getting big, so that might be coming up. 12 beach volleyball courts, 22 indoor soccer courts. So besides the 24 outdoor fields, they have 22 indoor. They have a gymnastics center there, a dance center, a sports performance center, a fitness center, and a wellness center, all in the same complex. They have a kids play center, a 2.5 acre great lawn with an amphitheater where they can do concerts and other things. And then they have a 17,000 square foot bar and restaurant. It is an incredible complex. And then now they also have an OCR course, the obstacle course race. So like Spartan races and things like that. They have an actual obstacle course race there that you can practice on and have events. But there is one massive negative with this place. Parking sucks. Parking sucks. Driving in sucks. Driving out sucks. It's like one entrance on one side, one entrance on the other side. The flow through it is terrible, and you have to pay for parking depending on the tournament. But the parking is, or the egress is not good for that place. It's thousands of people, huge parking lot, and all the games usually end at the same time, and everybody's trying to get in and get out. So besides the parking, the place is unbelievable. It's huge. I wish they had like trolleys that bring you out to some of the fields, because some of the fields from the parking lot are like a mile away because it's so big. But to have it close here, it's pretty awesome, and it's only about 15 to 20 minutes from me and from Gilbert. And depending on what side of Gilbert you're on, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's a pretty incredible facility. All right, the last surprise about Gilbert when we moved here was the amount of family entertainment. Now, we come from the entertainment capital of the world. We come from Los Angeles. The problem with Los Angeles is Los Angeles is so big and it's so packed, and all this stuff is not close. So yeah, it's got Universal and they've got Disneyland and they've got all the different parks and things like that, but they are far away. Disneyland's in Anaheim, and from LA to Anaheim without traffic is 40 minutes, which doesn't exist. So you're looking at an hour and a half, 2 hours to go down there. Universal Studios is in like Studio City area. It's never easy to get into there. So going down the 405 freeway, LA, it's just hard. There's a lot of places. And then each kind of town, depending on the demographics, has some nice things, and then some areas don't have anything. But the cool thing about Gilbert is because Gilbert's such a big town, there's so many things within the entire town, which top to bottom only takes about 20 minutes to get through. So everything's either 15 minutes away or 5 minutes away, depending on where you live in Gilbert. But let me go over just some of the best things that they have here. First is the downtown. I absolutely love the downtown, and that was kind of the deciding factor when we moved here. We went and saw all the downtowns, and then we stopped at not Burbank, we lived in Burbank. But the downtown of Gilbert reminded us of the downtown of Burbank, which is really cool downtown. And the Gilbert downtown is booming. All kinds of cool restaurants. There's Postino, there's Dirk's Bentley, Whiskey Row, there's Snooze, the AM Eatery, which is a really good breakfast place. There's The Porch, there's Joyride, which is cool tacos. They have Joe's Barbecue. They have Oso, OHSO, which is an awesome brewery, but it's also, they have a cool outside area. It's all dog friendly. Zinn Burger, which is where we ate. We loved it. We were sitting outside with a fire and the food was great. The downtown's got ice cream. They've got all kinds of coffee and stuff down there. Downtown is a cool area, developing, hip, nightlife. It is awesome. Like downtown in Gilbert is awesome. And that was really that's the thing that tipped us over. But if you don't know about it, you got to come check it out. It's fantastic. So besides the downtown, you've got the farmer's market, which is also downtown every Saturday. And the farmer's market here is huge. And lots of people go to the farmer's market. And I think it's almost year round. But we brought the kids there a few times, brought the dog there. Noodles, she loves it because they have all kinds of dog treats and super dog friendly. But they have food carts. They have all kinds of fresh, organic stuff. I'm not a big farmer's market guy, but I do enjoy going there just because they have so many cool things and there's something for everybody, for the kids, for the dogs, for the wife, for me. So farmer's market in Gilbert's pretty awesome. They also have the 110 acre riparian reserve, and which is crazy because it is literally this in the middle, in the heart of Gilbert. It's this huge nature preserve. So there's like 4 different water areas. They have an observatory. They have a nature preserve. They have walking tours, walking trails. And then they also have like a place where you can go fishing, where I got to take Zachary, my son, fishing for the first time. And we caught these little fish. And it's a really cool place. You can bring the dog, and it's huge. So you can walk around. And it's a lot of people go there to bird watch. They have a lake where you can walk over and ducks. It's the riparian preserve in Gilbert. It's a pretty awesome place. Next thing they have is Top Golf. If you've never been to Top Golf is awesome. It's one of my favorites because you don't have to be good at golf. I'm okay at golf, but we bring the kids, we bring the college kids come, and you get a bay, and the balls, they're tracked and you can hit them into different places and you score points. And really anybody can play Top Golf, so it's super, super friendly. And then right next to Top Golf, they have Main Event. Main Event's this huge place, entertainment center for families. We've been there a bunch of times where they have a full bowling alley. They have pool tables, they have a bar, they have shuffleboard, they have a huge arcade. They have this like obstacle course thing that's fun. And then they have laser tag. And laser tag there is fun. I love taking the kids and we go there and we play. Laser tag's a blast. And that's at Main Event. Literally, they share a parking lot with Top Golf. So and it's literally 2.5 miles from where we live, right in Burbank. I keep saying Burbank because I used to live there, right here in Gilbert. Then for the kids, a lot of different cities have trampoline parks, but there's a ton of trampoline parks here in the area. I can't even name them all because there's so many different ones. Lots of trampoline parks. They've got the big arcade entertainment places, a place called Fat Cats. They have this 3D mini golf place where it's mini golf and everything's in 3D. They give you 3D glasses. We did that. That was a fun thing. And there's just so much. So this area, trampolines, there's all different places for families to go, all within Gilbert, all within, really short driving distance. And it's all a blast to fit, whether it's inside or outside. It's just a really cool place to be super surprised about how much entertainment there was here in Gilbert, Arizona. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. These were the 5 things that surprised me most about moving here, besides all the awesome things. So I'm sure that gave you more information on kind of if you have kids or family or things to do. If you're indoor, outdoor, there's just so much here to do in Gilbert. So if you're looking to move to the area, make sure you hook it up. Corey Enman, eXp Realty. I'd love to help you find a home. Love, there's so many good neighborhoods, which we'll be doing video tours of the neighborhoods coming up soon. So make sure you set those notifications. But we'd love to find you a home here in Gilbert, our new home. We love it, and I hope you love it too. So find me on social media, Corey Enman at everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.